The case against Casey, three big headlines involving the 23-year-old murder suspect. New depositions given in her civil case, a motion denied in her criminal case, and Casey Anthony herself speaking out in court. We start our big team coverage with Bob Keeling, who sat next to the Anthonys today at the Orange County Courthouse.
Yes, it is.
Does one exist?
No, sir.
And that's true?
Yes.
Casey Anthony and her attorney, Jose Baez, endured a barrage of Judge Stan Strickland's money questions.
And I have to determine whether or not a conflict exists.
What is going on here? Who is selling?
Prosecutor Jeff Ashton argued that questions surrounding the source of Casey's defense funding had to be settled now or could blow up in their faces later.
We simply want this on the record now so that 5 years from now, we aren't coming back on this case with the potential of having to retry it.
When it came to how Baez was actually paying expenses, he asked to answer the judge's questions behind closed doors. George Anthony sat in the audience next to wife Cindy. Out of view, his fingers were crossed. Minutes later, the judge reemerged and said he's satisfied.
I'm convinced that as we sit here today, no conflict exists. She is
no conflict between Baez and Casey, but there's plenty of bad blood between Baez and Ashton. The judge scolded them for it.
You know what? This is getting old.
From his walk down the money trail, the judge is now satisfied that Casey's defense fund is on the up and up. But that doesn't mean that others won't stop asking questions about it. Reporting from the Orange County Courthouse, Bob Keeling, WESH 2 News.
After the hearing, Casey Anthony's attorney stood fast on his claim that he's done nothing unethical. WESH 2's Amanda Ober reports neither Jose Baez nor the Anthonys shed any light on who's paying for Casey's all-star legal team.
Well, I'll just be brief because there's not a whole lot I can say.
After Wednesday's hearing, Jose Baez wouldn't budge when pressed to reveal just who is paying for Casey's defense.
It's no one's business. I have confidential information that I get through the attorney-client relationship, and I can't disclose this information.
Baez also had little to say about his squabble in court with prosecuting attorney Jeff Ashton.
I don't think I should comment on his temper tantrums.
Ashton grew angry after Baez asked the judge to remind the prosecution not to spill the beans about what was discussed in their closed-door meeting with the judge.
We don't need to be reminded of our ethical obligations, and that's pretty... I'm sorry. Yes, we understand.
Thank you. That's it.
No, no.
You know what? This is getting old. Yes, it is. I'm getting tired. We're done. See that?
Criminal defense attorney Richard Hornsby says such sniping between attorneys is not unusual.
It's not uncommon, especially in highly contested and contentious cases.
As for Casey's parents, George and Cindy Anthony, they stayed close to their attorney Brad Conway and refused to speak.
I know that the Anthonys don't want to speak, but can you just tell us how it was for them to see Casey today?
It's always good to see their daughter. Always.
Cindy, do you want to say anything?
No, there's no comment.
Now, after the hearing, Jose Baez did pull the Anthonys aside for a quick private meeting. He was overheard assuring them that he'd done nothing wrong. And then before they parted, Baez and Cindy Anthony embraced. Live in the newsroom, Amanda Ober, WESH 2 News.
In the last hour, Judge Stan Strickland has also ruled he will not make public some of the police interview of Baez's former private investigator, Dominic Casey. Just today, Casey and another private investigator gave depositions in Casey Anthony's civil case. Attorney John Morgan questioned private investigators Jim Hoover and Dominic Casey. Morgan is representing Zenaida Gonzalez, who is suing Casey for defamation. Gonzalez claims Casey Anthony ruined her name when Casey pointed her out as Kaylee's babysitter. Go to wesh.com to get the latest on today's court proceedings. We have the entire exchange between Casey and Judge Strickland, as well as images of Casey in court today and from the past.